Good morning. Welcome to Duagia. Both pronunciations are probably incorrect. Day 5, the start of day 5 of the Ha Giang Loop, the final day. We are apparently only 2.5 hours on the road, but we've all heard that before. Final stretch back into Ha Giang. I'm not sure what there is to see, but again, I mean the scenery has been incredible, so I'm assuming there's going to be lots and lots to see, lots of places to stop and pull over for drone footage, views, coffee. So this is it. We had a great night's sleep. The bed was nice and soft and comfortable. Look at the view out the window, incredible. I've showered, we've just had some breakfast. We're going to pack all our gear up, check out, and we'll be back on the road for the final stretch. Our plans have changed a little bit when we get back to Ha Giang. I think we're going back in a transport shared with everyone else rather than waiting for an overnight bus, which makes a little bit more sense. So that's going to be a $14 sacrifice. I'm just going to let that ticket go. I don't think it's refundable, but you know, $14 is not really anything to cry about. So yeah, I'll give you a bit of a view from the bed. Huh? This is the view we had to wake up to. Fantastic. So very happy with our trip so far. We've endured a lot, but you know, nothing good comes unless you work for it, I suppose. And boy, we did work for it. Yesterday was a huge trek. If you haven't seen that episode, it will be the one previous to this one. And beautiful though, that raft and a few of the other things were incredible. Mel's just downstairs now, so pack up our stuff, and once more, for the final time, I'll see you on the road. As we leave the Dugia Panorama Eco Lodge here, guys, I'm going to leave the link for it in the description. I am able now to leave links in the description, considering that now we have over 800 subscribers. I don't know how that happened, but I do thank you, each and every one of you, for the response I've gotten. This is great so far. I didn't think the channel was going to grow this quickly. So that's wonderful. That's a great feeling. Thank you for your support. As we continue to grow, this series is far from done, so we've still got a few countries to go in this series. The Ha Giang Loop, however, as you can see us here leaving Dugia, is coming towards an end. We're riding out now back towards Ha Giang, and there are a lot more turns in this trip than what you think. So later on in the video, you're going to be wondering why I only show you corners. But pretty much that's all there is to see on the roads, apart from the beautiful views. It's just turns, and more turns. As we stop here just outside of the town to fill up the smaller tanked bikes. As you can see here, we climb up out of the town to get back onto the loop, the Ha Giang Loop, and there's just some epic views, some epic roads, twists and turns, and we stop every now and then, which is customary on the Ha Giang Loop, everywhere that there's somewhere nice to see something, or a waterfall, or a viewpoint. There's a little shop like the one that you see on the right here, and some beautiful views. So, you know, why not take advantage of it? This particular spot that we pulled up was sensational. guys, there's a Vietnamese flag out on the point there. You can probably see it in the distance behind those bushes. And you walk out and you get a phenomenal view of this valley region. So we took that opportunity and we decided to get a few Instagram worthy posts and shots. So you'll be able to see here the intrepid traveller Sir Chris standing on top of his conquered Ha Giang Loop and waving the Vietnamese flag, followed by myself. But there's many spots like this, and the view is similar to this for the majority of the Ha Giang Loop. So if you are thinking of coming here and you do need some tips, I hope this video series on the Ha Giang Loop has helped you get a good idea of what it's like as we go back to the twists and the turns, slowly going down the valley. And I want to just leave that here for a couple of minutes just to show you what it's like again on the Ha Giang Loop to be cruising, seeing the sights. It really is an atmosphere on the motorbike, so I recommend that if you are competent on a motorbike, there's definitely safe ways to do it. Maybe not the bamboo ferry and the tracks going to and from it, but these main roads in particular, probably shown you multiple times. We've passed groups of riders with people on the back. These are what's called easy riders. So in many of the hostels and backpackers in Ha Giang and even Hanoi, you can organise somebody, a Vietnamese local or somebody working for the backpackers, to ride you around on the scooter, so that if you're not competent enough or that you just don't feel like you want to ride the scooter, they will take you and show you as many highlights and things as possible, and you can customize your trips. So get in touch with a lot of the backpackers and homestays in Ha Giang and Hanoi, and they'll steer you in the right direction. So this road we've just turned up, it goes up through this valley you can see here, smack bang right down the middle of the valley. So once you climb over this little hill and just head out of the village there, you've got this valley to look at for the next, 45 minutes to an hour. The roads do get pretty bad up this section, and it had me pulling over wondering if I was on the right road, because this is another part of the world/Vietnam where Google Maps isn't completely accurate. It tells you that you're roughly in the right area, but you're probably about 300 to 400 meters from the road that it thinks you're on. So we were just kind of getting a little bit worried that maybe we were supposed to be on another road that was running adjacent to us, because the state of the road kept deteriorating. But eventually it got back to normal, and we pretty confident that we were on the loop, because again there was viewpoints and cafes and stuff up the top of the valley. But I'll leave that for you to see the beautiful view once we climbed up out of this valley. You can see back down towards the valley where we roughly are now, and it's just fantastic, sensational view. this is the valley we rode from. What a beautiful view, what a beautiful stop to have a coffee. And before we left, we found a extremely dangerous wild puppy who was determined to be digging himself a den underneath this huge rock, which was pretty cute. Then we continued on down even more valleys, even more twists and turns. As we slowly came to an end this trip, we're winding down now. We're coming back down into the river section before we hit Ha Giang. And again, it must be landslides or it must be water erosion, because every now and then you'll come across a section of road like this one that just seems washed out and unsealed for about 200 or 300 meters. Then you will go back to a perfectly sealed or concreted road, which is a little bit strange. But I mean, the weather around here is pretty crazy. When it does rain, it pours, so I can imagine that it doesn't do the roads too good. And getting the resources up to the top of northern Vietnam might be a little bit of a challenge too, so just be prepared for that. But I mean, it's nothing these bikes couldn't handle, so you're not in any danger of any kind unless you go on the beaten track and try and cross a river on a bamboo ferry. And if you haven't seen that, by the way, this will be episode 10, I believe. Go and have a look at the previous episode. It's part 2. You could probably check out part 1 of the previous episodes as well, and that's the detour we took to a small town called Beola. And whilst it is recommended, I wouldn't go there if you didn't know how to ride motorbikes. Coming back down the mountains now, you can see a dry riverbed on our right-hand side. We do eventually find somewhere to have lunch, pull over and we grab some spring rolls and some chicken and a few things like that, and continued on. Coming up here, guys, you'll be able to see some of those easy riders that I was talking about. You'll see me pass some motorcycles right now, and you can see that there's people on the back of them. These will be people that have chosen to do the Ha Giang Loop on the backs of a local's motorcycle, just not only to be a hassle-free trip, but some of them may not know how to ride motorcycles. So there is always an option. If you do want to do this and you don't want to have to sit inside a car where you, to be honest, wouldn't get as much of the sense of the atmosphere of the Ha Giang Loop, you can still sit on the back of a motorbike and be perfectly safe and do the Ha Giang Loop. And it is really cheap as well. Here's another Instagram worthy viewpoint stuck on the side of a cliff here. So we decided to pull over, as we always did, grabbed a coffee and climbed up and took our compulsory Instagram shot. And I took the drone out too, just to show you guys the view, and it is incredible.
Pad's taking a photo of it.
back at the NBN Luxury Hotel where it all began, where this epic motorbike trip started on the Ha Giang Loop. And it was such a feeling of accomplishment to be riding into the same car park that we rode out of 5 nights ago. And we had so much energy left over because it was a relatively easy day. Google Maps was actually accurate for one day, so we just unpacked the bike, as you can see here. I actually took it back to Style Motorbikes, which I'll also link below. If you do want to come to the Ha Giang Loop and you are renting your own motorcycle, I highly recommend Style Motorbikes. I'll link them below. And then we just decided to do a few chores, like get some washing done and go out for the night. Just going to drop off our laundry. It costs $1.40 a kilo for fresh washed folded laundry, and we're about out. Well, I know I am. So off to the laundromat and pick them up hopefully tomorrow before the bus leaves. And sweet, a fresh full bag of clothes ready for the rest of the holiday. So guys, I'm afraid from this point on, things got a little bit messy. Not this point exactly, should I say. There's a little bar coming up here on the right-hand side where there were 70 Australian cent tap beers, and the beers came in 700 milliliter jugs, or glasses, should I call them. That's bigger than a pint, smaller than a stein, I believe. But from here on out, we just had some pizza, as you can see. Went back to the beer garden and drunk there for the rest of the night. We met some lovely French people, and then we came back to the pizza place, had more beers, and it was just a bit of a blur. So I do apologise that I didn't film much of that. This is the little place here. I won't tell you where it is, but it's up to you to find it. It's very local, and right behind us there over the handrail is the river. So that should give you a hint. And it's within walking distance of the NBN Luxury Hotel. So apart from that, I want to thank you for watching, especially this Ha Giang Loop part of the series. There we go. And I look forward to seeing you for the rest of the trip, where we're going to be hitting Cambodia, Laos and Thailand. So from all of us here who did the loop, a few of us are departing, a couple of us are continuing. Thank you for watching, thank you for tuning in, and we'll see you in the next video.